Hey, everybody, and welcome to the weekly Freelance Bar podcast. I'm Scott.
I'm Sarah, and I'm ready to get into it today.
Yeah, we're going to do a deep dive into social media today. And
So much is happening.
I know, right? Like every day there's some crazy new headline about AI or privacy or a new platform you've never even heard of.
Right. Where do you even start?
Exactly. So
Yeah,
that's what we're doing today. We're going to try and cut through all the noise and give you the stuff you actually need to know.
sounds good to me.
All right, so let's kick things off with this whole Meta AI profile thing. These live profiles that were going viral.
Oh, yeah, those were wild. They were so realistic, like a little too realistic.
Right. Like it kind of gave me the creeps.
It's that uncanny valley thing, right? When something is so close to human, but not quite there.
Yeah, and it makes you think like, how can you even tell who's real online anymore?
It's a good question, and it's not just about feeling creeped out. It's a much bigger problem.
Definitely, like, think about all the scams and fake news that's already out there.
Exactly. And now imagine all that, but powered by AI that can create these incredibly convincing fake profiles.
So you can't even trust what you see or who you're talking to.
Right? It just undermines everything. Like, can you imagine trying to date online when you don't even know if the other person is real?
Or what about political campaigns? What if they start using AI to spread propaganda?
It's not that far-fetched, and it's not just Meta doing this either.
So this is like a huge problem that's only going to get bigger.
Yeah, and it really raises questions about privacy, too. Which actually brings us to our next topic, Apple's enhanced visual search.
Right, so on the surface, this seems like a pretty cool feature. You take a picture of a landmark and your phone tells you all about it,
Yeah, super convenient, but here's the thing to do that it sends your photo data to Apple.
which a lot of people are not happy about.
Yeah, they claim it's not personally identifiable information, but still some people are just uncomfortable with that level of data sharing.
It's a tough one, right?
Right.
Convenience versus privacy.
Exactly. And Apple's argument is that they need this data to make the feature work properly.
But on the other hand, users are saying, hold on, I should have more control over my own data.
And the good news is you do have a choice. You can actually disable enhanced visual search in your settings.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to find. Just go to your iPhone or Mac settings and look for the photo section.
Exactly. And if you're concerned about privacy, it's definitely worth taking a look.
Okay, so speaking of trust and verification, let's talk about Telegram and their new system for combating scams.
Yeah, scams have been a big problem on Telegram for a while now.
And it seems like they're finally taking it seriously.
They are. They're rolling out this new verification system that uses blue emoji badges.
So basically, if you see a channel or a group with a blue badge,
Hmm.
it's legit.
Right. It's a simple visual cue, but it can make a big difference.
Especially when you're trying to navigate all these different channels and groups.
Exactly. It's a way to quickly identify trustworthy sources.
So it seems like platforms are starting to realize that they need to do more to build trust with their users.
Yeah, and it's not just about preventing scams. It's also about combating misinformation and making sure people have access to accurate information.
Right, because with AI getting better and better at creating fake content, it's going to be even harder to tell what's real and what's not.
Exactly. So having these verification systems in place is going to be crucial.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about something a little more practical. RSS feeds.
Ah, yes, the good old RSS feed.
So for anyone who's not familiar with RSS, it's basically a way to subscribe to updates from websites and blogs without having to constantly check their websites or rely on algorithms.
Right. It's a much more direct way to get the content you want.
And it's been making a comeback lately because people are getting frustrated with the way algorithms control what they see online.
Exactly. They want more control over their own information flow.
And that's where OpenRSS comes in. It's a tool that lets you create RSS feeds for websites that don't offer them.
So even if a platform like Tumblr or Craigslist has abandoned RSS, you can still use OpenRSS to get updates.
It's like a secret weapon for staying on top of things.
Exactly. And it's a great way to support independent creators and websites that might not have the resources to build their own RSS feeds.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed by the constant churn of social media and algorithms, OpenRSS might be your new best friend.
Definitely worth checking out.
Okay, so moving on to another legal battle that's been making headlines, Anthropic and the music publishers.
Ah, yes, the ongoing saga of AI and copyright.
So basically, Anthropic used copyrighted songs to train its AI models, and the music publishers weren't too happy about it.
Yeah, they sued Anthropic for copyright infringement.
And it's a really complex issue because on the one hand, AI needs to be trained on data, and music is a huge part of our culture.
But on the other hand, artists and publishers deserve to be compensated for their work.
Right. So how do you balance the potential of AI with the rights of creators?
It's a question that courts and lawmakers are going to be grappling with for a long time.
And this Anthropic case is just the tip of the iceberg.
Exactly. We're going to see more and more of these cases as AI becomes more sophisticated.
Okay, so let's wrap things up with a look at the two contenders vying for the title of Twitter replacement, Threads and Bluesky.
Two very different approaches to social media.
Right, so Threads is Meta's offering, and it's basically a more polished and controlled version of Twitter.
Yeah, they have stricter moderation policies, and they're really focused on curating a more positive and civil online experience.
Which some people appreciate, but others find it a bit stifling.
Right. It all comes down to what you're looking for in a social media platform.
And then you have Bluesky, which is all about decentralization and user control.
They're building a protocol that allows anyone to create their own social media network.
So it's more like a federation of different communities than a single platform.
Exactly. And it's still in its early stages, but it's definitely one to watch.
So it's kind of like a philosophical battle between these two approaches.
Yeah. Do you want a more curated and controlled environment, or do you want more freedom and flexibility?
It's a tough choice.
It is. And ultimately, it's up to each individual to decide what kind of online space they want to be a part of.
Well, this has been a really interesting deep dive. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground.
We have, and it just shows how quickly the social media landscape is changing.
And how important it is to stay informed and make conscious choices about how we engage with these platforms.
Absolutely, because ultimately we have the power to shape the future of social media.
Well said, Sarah. Thanks for joining me today.
That's all for this week. Remember to follow us on YouTube, blueskynx.com for hourly news updates. Stay connected.